America is supposed to be the land of dreams, the place where hard work pays off, where everyone has a shot at a better life. But if you walk down the streets of major cities today, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, New York City, Austin, Denver, you'll see a different story. You'll see people living in tents huddled on sidewalks, under bridges, in parks, and in alleyways. You'll see entire communities built from tarps, shopping carts, broken furniture, and desperation. This is not a scene from a movie or a documentary. This is America in 2025. The homelessness crisis in the United States has reached an alarming point, and the most visible proof of this is the rise of tent cities. These aren't isolated incidents anymore. Tent cities are everywhere. They're no longer hidden in the shadows. They're right in the heart of our towns and cities, downtown areas, beside freeways, behind supermarkets, even on school grounds. Thousands of people are sleeping on the cold, hard ground every single night, and the number keeps growing. So, how did it come to this? First, let's talk about housing. In many American cities, the cost of rent has become completely unaffordable for the average person. Wages have stayed mostly the same, but rent keeps going up. In cities like San Francisco or New York, even a studio apartment can cost over $2,000 a month. And that's just the rent. Now imagine you're working a minimum wage job, or even 2 part-time jobs, and trying to keep up. It's impossible. You fall behind on rent, and soon you're evicted. You might sleep in your car for a while, until that's towed or broken into. Then you're on the street, with no choice but to pitch a tent. Another reason is mental illness and addiction. Many people living in tents are struggling with untreated mental health conditions or substance abuse. But here's the thing. Most of them didn't start on the streets. Many had jobs, families, homes. But life happened. A medical emergency, a job loss, a breakup, or untreated trauma pushed them over the edge. And once you're homeless, getting help becomes much harder. There are waiting lists for shelters. Mental health services are underfunded, and drug treatment programs are often short-term and full. And then there's the simple fact that there's nowhere else to go. Shelters are overcrowded. Some are dangerous. Many have strict rules that make it hard for people to stay. Some don't allow pets or couples. Others require sobriety, which many people can't maintain without help. So instead, people set up tents. At least it gives them some privacy, some safety, some dignity. In places like Los Angeles, entire blocks are now lined with tents. Skid Row is one of the most infamous, but it's no longer the only one. There are new encampments popping up every week. The same is happening in Portland, Seattle, Denver, and even smaller cities like Sacramento or Spokane. And while the public grows increasingly frustrated, politicians argue about what to do. Some want to criminalize homelessness, ticketing or arresting people for sleeping in tents. Others push for more housing and services. But while they argue, people are still sleeping in the cold. Many Americans don't realize just how close they are to homelessness. A medical bill, a divorce, the loss of a job, or even a natural disaster can push someone over the edge. It's not just people with addiction or mental illness. It's single mothers, veterans, college students, the elderly. More and more, it's working people, yes, people with jobs, who still can't afford a place to live. Tent cities are not just collections of random individuals. They become communities. People look out for each other, share food, guard each other's belongings. Some try to maintain cleanliness, even create systems for trash and recycling. But without proper sanitation, these camps often become unsanitary. Diseases spread, fires break out, people are assaulted, and still, no real solution comes. The weather adds another layer of pain. In the summer, tents become ovens. In the winter, they turn into freezing chambers. People die from heat stroke, frostbite, and exposure. Last year alone, Hundreds of homeless individuals died simply from sleeping outside in extreme conditions. And yet, tents are often the only thing standing between them and death. Children are also part of this crisis. Thousands of school-age kids in America are homeless. Some live in shelters or cars. Others live in tents with their parents. They go to school during the day and return to a makeshift home at night. These kids face bullying, hunger, lack of sleep, and deep shame. How are they supposed to focus on school when they don't even know where they'll sleep tonight? What about the government? There have been efforts, yes. Some cities have built tiny homes or permanent supportive housing. Others offer rent vouchers or expand shelter services. But the truth is, it's not enough. The need is overwhelming. And when cities do build housing, it's often met with public resistance. People don't want shelters or low-income housing near their neighborhoods. They say it lowers property values or brings crime. So the cycle continues. Meanwhile, millions of dollars are spent clearing encampments. Cities send in crews to tear down tents, throw away personal belongings, and push people to move, often with nowhere to go. It's called sweeps. And while it looks like action, it's really just displacement. Within days, tents pop up again, sometimes just a few blocks away. Despite all this suffering, some Americans still believe homelessness is the fault of the individual. They say things like, "Get a job," or "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps." But how can someone get a job when they don't have a mailing address? How can they attend an interview when they haven't showered in weeks? How can they submit documents when their birth certificate and ID were thrown away in a sweep? The system is built in a way that keeps people trapped. Escaping homelessness requires more than hard work. It requires support. And yet, support is exactly what's missing. In many cities, affordable housing has been replaced by luxury developments. Landlords hike up rents. Investors buy properties and let them sit empty. Public housing projects are underfunded, understaffed, and falling apart. Even programs designed to help the homeless, like Housing First or Rapid Rehousing, are often overwhelmed or blocked by local resistance. Many people don't want shelters or low-income housing built in their neighborhoods. They say it will bring crime, reduce property values, or ruin the community. But what does it say about our society when we'd rather hide the homeless than help them? When we build fences and sprinkle rocks under bridges to keep people from sleeping there? When we install anti-homeless spikes on benches instead of offering people a place to rest? America is a wealthy country. We have the resources to feed the world, send rockets into space, and build skyscrapers. But we can't seem to provide safe shelter to our own people. Something is deeply wrong with that. The homelessness crisis is not just a housing issue. It's a human issue. It's about dignity, opportunity, and basic survival. No one wants to live in a tent. No one dreams of being homeless. These are people just like you and me, mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, struggling to survive in a system that has forgotten them. Until we address the root causes, unaffordable housing, broken mental health systems, lack of addiction treatment, poverty, and wage inequality, this crisis will continue, and more people will end up on the streets. We need real solutions. We need more affordable housing, more shelters with dignity, more mental health care, more addiction recovery programs. But we also need compassion. We need to stop seeing the homeless as criminals or problems and start seeing them as people who need help. As Americans, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of country do we want to be? One that ignores its most vulnerable, or one that lifts them up? The tents aren't just symbols of poverty. They're symbols of a society that has lost its way. The question now is, are we willing to find it again?